Hello, welcome to this channel of the beardedeurofan, that's me. For today's episode I'm going to review the Icelandic entry for Eurovision 2022, which has been represented by the female band Systur with the song Með Hækkandi Sól, which in English translates as With the Rising Sun. After the Icelandic sensation in last year's contest with the group beardedeurofan, having achieved a respectable 4th place, despite not being able to perform live because of 2 of their members having tested positive for COVID-19. The Nordic country moves forward with its participation, hoping to get their first victory. Let's take a look to the selected artists this time to represent the Scandinavian nation on touring. Systur is an Icelandic folk group, previously known as Tribolia or Siga Beta Angelin. It's formed by the 3 female sisters Sigridur, Elisabeth and Elín Eyþórsdóttir. In fact, the group's current name means sisters in Icelandic, so it has total sense. Their family have been linked to music since Saba, as their mother is a singer, and their father is the composer and keyboardist of the Icelandic group Mexoforte. They started their musical career in 2011. Being a part of the band CCA, named after their grandmother. They released a few singles in English with the band, until the year 2017, when they pursued their career on their own under the name of Tribolia. However, they did not have had too much work on stage, which they usually balance with their activism in transgender rights, and especially for children. Then, during last year, they have an opportunity to continue in the musical scene. The Icelandic public broadcaster organized once again their national final summer evening on its 28th edition, after their internal re-election of beardedeurofan last year. As it has been usual in previous years, the format will consist in 2 semi-finals and a final show, in which a maximum of 10 contestants will participate. For this, a submission period was open between September and October of last year for interested Icelandic singers and composers on sending their proposals. An expert panel consisted by members of the Association of Composers of Iceland and the Icelandic Musicians Union was in charge of selecting the 10 entries among the 158 proposals received by the broadcaster, announcing them officially in early February, being among them the entries sent by Systur, who participated as Siga Beta Angelin. Initially, it was intended to broadcast the semi-finals in February and the final show in March as usual, but with the effects of the infection wave of the COVID-19 Omicron variant earlier this year, the Icelandic public broadcaster decided to delay the shows 1 week, just before the deadline for sending officially the entries for the contest. The qualification method will remain the same, with 5 contestants competing in each semi-final, in which the 2 most voted artists will qualify to the final solely by the televote, and a wildcard will be granted to one of the artists who did not make it to the final, for a total of 5 finalists competing in the final show. The 3 sisters will make their first appearance in the first semi-final, winning it by a wide margin and qualifying straight to the final. Then in the final show broadcasted in mid-March, the winner of the competition will be chosen with a combination of the votes of the public and a mixed international and national jury in 2 rounds. And this time the finalists will perform the song in the languages they will be performing in case they represent the country at Eurovision. Siga Beta and Elín have done it in their mother tongue, Icelandic. In the first round, the 2 most voted artists will qualify to the super final, with Siga Beta and Elín being one of the super finalists. Later in the second round, the voting results granted the victory to the Systur trio in the national final, gaining with this the right to represent Iceland in touring. A very mystical song that invites to relax. Now here comes the analysis according to what they have presented in their official music video, which rather than a music video is the recording of the performance in the Icelandic national final. The melody is absolutely a country track with pop folk elements. I must say that the instrumentation is wonderful, from the very first second until the end, and I like it very much. Their voices also make a harmonic ensemble that gives that mysticism and that magic the song delivers, offering to the listener an incredible experience to the ears, with a warmth that spreads in all your senses. Reading the song's lyrics, previously translated of course, there are metaphors of a girl facing difficulties in her life and the sunrise. Siga, one of the sisters, explains the context behind the lyrics this way. Originally it was written as a point of view of an 18th or 19th century Icelandic woman who was in Bisterband. The Icelandic Bisterband, which can be translated as lifebound, was a requirement that all landless people be employed on a farm. Poor people did not really have any control of their lives and were forced to work for others and live under their rule. But the lyrics can also be related to anyone in many and all sorts of situations, seeing some hope with the sun getting higher and days getting warmer. We must take into account that, being Iceland up in the north, very close to the Arctic Pole, the hours on sunlight are very short in the winter season compared to the countries in continental Europe. After the winter solstice, the hours of sunlight start to increase day by day, as we already know. Although in Iceland, this change is quite notorious, being expressed in the song as a symbol of hope. In this sense, the message that intends to deliver is that no matter how difficult moments or circumstances in our lives could be, there is always hope that everything is going to be fine, because in the darkness, the light will always come. Analyzing their performance in the national final serving as official music video, the staging is specific and simple. The three sisters are at the center of the stage performing the song, with Siga playing an electroacoustic guitar, Beta playing an electric bass, and Elin playing an electric guitar, and the younger brother of them is also at the side of the stage playing the drums. They are wearing country outfits, all of them, with a touch of fashion. The visual graphics were based on a starry background, with a few wig-like reflections sometimes, using warm spotlights as well. The shots are mostly close-ups of them from many angles until the end of the performance. Making a summary of the comments, I like very much the Icelandic entry for this year. It was the second country song officially announced for the contest, after the Estonian song a few weeks earlier. The proposal seems quite simple, but it's one of those songs that lift up your mood when you listen to it with attention. About the staging in touring, it will be quite identical from the national final with a few changes. During the rehearsals, it could be seen the spotlights will have more prominence, and mostly from the kinetic sun. In this case, the shape of the stage fitted to them like a globe. Watching their live performance in the first semi-final, the climax of the performance was seen at the end of the bridge preceding to the last chorus, where Siga holds the note for 2 more beats, while the stage was an outburst of warm lights, transmitting in a quite significant way that rising sun described in the song. That warmth meant eventually their qualification to the finals. Then, after the counting of the votes to the grand final, they received the same amount of points from the juries and the public, placing third to last in the final ranking. Maybe it was not the most outstanding result for Iceland this time, but it's undeniable that this entry has an exceptional quality in terms of musical composition. It's remarkable as well that they've achieved the first place in the Icelandic musical charts, the first one in their musical career. This could be a boost for them on working hard in a debut studio album, including compositions in both Icelandic and English. And you, what do you think about the Icelandic entry for this year? Leave your comments down below as usual, and let's keep the discussion a little more. And this is it for today's episode. As I always say, don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and enable notifications to be aware every time I upload new content here. Take a look at my social media as well and follow me. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.